All right, so we want to thank everybody for coming on the call, and just want to do a little explanation really of what we're doing for the call. We are recording it for anyone who's on here. Instead of a regular DA or the DA that we do with the PowerPoints, what we're actually doing is more of letting everybody know who we are, what we're doing, how we started doing this, and just giving you a bit more information about the personal side of the business. And then if you have any questions afterwards, you can follow up with whoever sent you this video, or you can follow up with Stephanie or myself. So thanks for being here. And kind of the best way I think to start is, Stephanie, do you want to share maybe what your life looked like when you decided to join Arbonne?
Sure, yeah. So I don't know if I've come up on the screen now or not, so maybe you're just hearing my voice, and that's okay. So my life before Arbonne was rather different than it is today. So I was an entrepreneur in Fredericton here for 15 years, and I was a massage therapist and a yoga teacher. So being an entrepreneur, what that meant for me at that time was, if I were to explain my typical day, I would get up at 5:30 a.m. and go to the gym to exercise for my sanity. And from there, I would go right to work, where I would massage 3 different clients, no breaks in there, immediately teach a lunchtime yoga class, get a little bit of time to eat after that, massage 3 more clients, and teach another class or 2 after that. So my days would start at 5:30 a.m. and I would get home. I lived a half hour out of town for a good chunk of that. And I would get home at an average of 9 o'clock at night. So I basically had no life. And in between there was, throughout the day, anytime there was a spare minute, it was occupied basically by trying to keep my business running and returning phone calls and emails and things of that nature. So I had no time for family events. I missed so many birthdays and Easter dinners and things like that. I could never go to things of that nature. It was hard for me to see friends. Basically, anytime something was happening, I was always working. So that was kind of my average day. And that was 15 years of my life, basically. So it's kind of like my 15 years of being an entrepreneur made me kind of a void from the world. It just made me kind of disappear, and I was immersed in just a work life. So the idea of work-life balance didn't really exist at all. And ironically, I was trying to sort of counsel my clients on how to maintain work-life balance when they were showing up with their symptoms of stress and things of that nature. So that was kind of an average run-of-the-mill day for me pre-Arbonne. Courtney, what did your life look like before Arbonne?
When I first started, it was 5 years ago. I had a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I had a husband who had traditional business, just exactly like what you're talking about. And I had 3 part-time jobs. I was a massage therapist, actually working in Stephanie's clinic. I was an instructor at the massage therapy school, and I was also a supervisor in the evening time for the students when they were massaging the public. So the last thing I actually wanted was another job. And it was, the difference between that and now is I always felt rushed. I always felt like I was behind. I always felt like I was never present in the moment. I was always like, I gotta get to my next job. I gotta put on my next hat. I gotta get out of here, get the kids to here. Like, it was always rushing. And even though I loved each one of my jobs, I felt like I couldn't actually enjoy any of them because I was always like thinking about what I had to do next, because it was never just one day doing one thing. So it was a lot more, I don't want to say busy, but more hurried. And I felt like really I wasn't doing anything to the best of my ability because I was doing too many different things. Even though those jobs are related, I was still being pulled in so many different directions. And I was tired and feeling like that burnout feeling. And how that kind of changes now, because I did start an Arbonne business, even though I had all those jobs. And as my business grew, I was able to step away from one job at a time. And then I eventually was doing just Arbonne. So once it had taken over my income by far for those 3 jobs, I decided that even though I really loved being a massage therapist, that I loved having time more. I loved getting my work done when my kids were at school and then to be there at the bus stop and being present with them. I love being able to go to people's houses for coffee. I stopped in at Stephanie's house today because both her and I only do Arbonne now. And I loved being able to go to the gym without getting up at 5:30, like Stephanie was saying. So the difference between now and then is I'm still loving what I'm doing, but I get to choose the hours that I work, and I kind of fit it in and around the life that I have, so that I'm not constantly rushing on to the next thing. And I don't know, do you feel the same way, Stephanie? Like, how do you feel things are different now, say the past 15 months since you started focusing on Arbonne?
It couldn't be more different, really. I mean, it was the same as you in that sense, but my life couldn't be more different than it was then. Something I didn't mention throughout that 15 years is I think I took 2 vacations, and I don't even know if they actually count. One of them counts as a real authentic vacation, but the rest of them were all things that I would go away on courses for more training and things like that. And I would call that a holiday, but I was basically in a course. So since I started, part of why I started this business was because I was basically forced into early retirement, shockingly. After burning the candle at both ends for 15 years, I wore my body out. So I had to step away from my massage practice, and my yoga practice and health coaching practice looks very different today. And it really blended in perfectly with my Arbonne business as I started, because now, again, I don't have to get up at 5:30 in the morning unless I choose to. So I get up and I go to the gym when I want to. Oftentimes Courtney and I or another friend might meet for coffee afterwards and catch up on what we're doing, what our business is looking like, and kind of set our day that way. I walk my dog when I want to. I can go to the grocery store. I can see my family, and my dad is not well, so I can see my dad when I want to. That's a huge shift in me being able to be present with my family. Having missed everything before, I'm pretty much a guarantee I can attend anything if I'm in town. And that's another thing that's really different for me now. Combining my yoga teaching and my Arbonne business, I have basically spent a year doing a ton of travel. So that's one of the real beauties of this business, is that it's global. So anywhere there's Wi-Fi and Arbonne exists, you can work. So I spent the winter in Australia, and that was fantastic. I was technically taken there to teach yoga, but I grew my business and got new preferred clients and things like that while I was there, and new business partners. So that's drastically different to think now I have a global business, where before my maximum reach geographically was the limits of Fredericton, Ormocto, and surrounding areas. So now it's anywhere in the world that Arbonne is, which is really fantastic. And I've been working across Canada and Australia for the last year, and it's been amazing because when I work and I travel, I actually do get to take downtime while I'm there. So now these working trips are also vacation trips. So I've had a lot of time to take care of myself, and I've healed my own body. I've repaired the damage that I had done in my previous life, and it feels like a previous life. It feels like a very different, like I'm a different person now than I was then. Having this time freedom and more energy and better health. I mean, there's nothing that's worth more than good health. So it's been a real gift for me to be able to get back on my feet, so to speak, and feel not only human, but like a contributing human again to the world. So yeah, very different. Of course, in the middle, do you want to talk about your middle process of maybe growing pains, or what you experienced in the process of going from point A to B?
Certainly. I found one of the parts I struggled with the most during the Arbonne business is that I did have my career laid out in front of me. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I was good at massage therapy. Stephanie and I had a great name with our clinic. And I had, a degree in exercise science. I had a diploma in massage therapy. And this was so different than what I ever thought I'd be doing. And I had no education in it, that I really struggled sharing the fact that I had become an Arbonne consultant. It was almost like I'd worked so hard to do this one thing, and you think your whole life, like, you go to school, you learn how to do something, you go do it until you retire. And I was going to be doing something completely different than that. So it was almost like I had to go through a grieving process of like letting that old idea go. and being really open and honest with people. I find sometimes when this type of social networking business is being shared, that people kind of talk about it being all sunshine and rainbows, and you win trips and you win the car and you do this and you do that and it's all great. But it's still a job. Like, you were still working. You get to control the hours that you work, and it's not 40 hours a week. And it's not hard work. It's usually pretty fun. But it's still a job. And that was something that kind of, at first I felt really good about doing that, because it was like it replaced one job, so I knew I had to replace the income. But then as it started replacing more and more, it was almost like I had to get stricter and stricter with myself the more time I had. I couldn't just say, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. And I fell into that sometimes, that I would put off, we say, tomorrowing your business. And so my business kind of has some ups and downs. And it was me having to learn a bit more self-discipline, and working a lot more consistently in my business and not tomorrowing my business, in order for me to be successful. And I know there's a lot of people listening to this call who don't really know Stephanie or I. And I'm sure a lot of you are thinking like, oh, well, it's probably easy for them from where they're from, or they must know a lot of people, or they must be good at sales, or whatever it is you might think makes somebody good at being a consultant. It's probably not really what makes somebody good at being a consultant. So what would you say, Stephanie, are some of the most important things that actually make someone very successful in this business?
I would have to say, first and foremost, be coachable. So be willing to receive feedback, suggestions, recommendations from people that have been doing the business for a while, even if it's 6 months, 3 months. If somebody has a little more experience than you, then that is an amazingly valuable resource of information to get input and coaching and help from. And anytime someone is coachable, then that opens them up. I know it's been my experience. The more coachable I am, the more I receive. And so I don't mean just the more I hear, I mean the more I receive. So I actually let it land in my mind, and I digest it and process it, and then integrate it and put it into my business. And I've only seen positive results when that's happened. Again, I consider anyone else who's been in this longer than me definitely more of an expert. And I'm not an expert. I don't know if any of us are actually experts, but we're all doing the best we can. And if people have done more than I have, I'm definitely going to listen to what they say. The other top thing I definitely think has to be done in order for you to be successful in this business is to remember it is a business. So for me, that wasn't such a big deal per se, because I'm very used to running my own business. But I can totally get it if people are coming in from, say, different careers where they haven't been running a traditional business, they've been an employee somewhere, that there's maybe a temptation, or it seems typical or easy to fall into, I call it a trap, basically, of acting or behaving or working as though you're an employee. So instead of being coachable, you might be feeling like you're being criticized if someone is trying to offer you advice. You might feel like your boss is mad at you or you're disappointing them. And nobody's your boss. You are your boss. So the people are your colleagues, and they're trying to help you do your best. So if you can look at it as a legitimate, real business, show up every day. It doesn't mean my old work schedule of 60, 80 plus hours a week. It is not even close to that. So that's been a huge part. Now I healed myself, is because this is part-time in and around whatever else you're doing, but you have to be consistent. So if you're not showing up, really treating your business as a business, not a hobby, but treating it as a business and looking to continually grow your business, investing in your business, meaning spending time with others that are in the business, going to retreats, going to conferences, showing up at events, even if you don't have guests or clients coming with you, showing up anyway, immersing yourself in the business, because every time you show up, you learn. And if you consistently do something every single day, following the system that is laid out for you, that trailblazers have set down in such a simple format, if you can follow that, be coachable, treat it like a real business, nothing negative is going to happen. You are going to be nothing but successful in this business, as successful as you want. The more you work, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. So depending on your goals, You can work more, you can work less, and achieve whatever it is that you want. And I don't say that lightly. You can actually achieve whatever it is that you want through this business. It's incredible. So those are big things, I think. What about you? What do you think? What else would you add to that?
I do find sometimes, and I used to get in this trap, that you compare yourself to other people. So sometimes in this business, when you see somebody who's being successful, you assume that they have something that you don't. Or they're prettier than you, or taller than you, or thinner than you, or smarter than you, or whatever it is you think you're lacking, which you normally aren't. Oftentimes we attribute somebody else's success to that. But really what it comes down to, no matter what your background is, no matter what you look like, no matter what kind of a person you are, like you said, the number one thing, be coachable. Be able to learn, let go of that employee mentality. Be resourceful. Like she was saying, there's a system, you plug into it. Everything you need is available for you to become an independent consultant. You just have to like take a second and look for it, not wait for an answer. And people are there to help you, but all the answers are already there if you can't get a hold of one of those people. And be disciplined. Don't ignore your business. Work it every single day. Be self-motivated. Have your own goals. Have your own things you want to be accomplishing. Be goal-oriented so that you are working towards something. Sometimes if you don't know what you want, or you're not specific in what you're trying to achieve, your business won't go anywhere, won't grow, because you're not actually actively working towards something. And then to be able to ask for help, to admit that you're wrong. And those are okay. Like she said, nobody's your boss. You're not going to get fired. Nobody's disappointed. The people you're working with can't help you if they don't know what it is you need help with. So a lot of times I find people, and I used to be this way because I always wanted people to think I was smart, or that I was right, or that I knew what I was doing. And so I would be timid to ask for help, or to admit I have no idea what I'm doing, or I don't know what to do next. I've looked all these places for an answer and I can't find it. And I didn't want to admit that I didn't know. But I've learned since then, you move a lot quicker and grow a lot quicker if you can ask for help. So if some of these skills are not something that you currently have, or you're not strong in them, you have to be the type of person who's willing to work on them. And we do that through personal development and professional development. There's reading, there's courses, there's a lot of things, and we do things to help each other. And that's a big part of this, is personal growth, to let go that everybody isn't against you, and things are happening to you. Like life is happening for you. You are where you are because of decisions and choices you've made up until now. And the more you can own that moving forward, those are normally the people who grow the quickest, who know they're the ones that control their lives, and they choose actively to participate in it. And again, that's something you can learn. You can get stronger in that. So even if one of those skills isn't something that you feel like you have locked down now, you have to be willing to get those skills, and you'd be unstoppable. That's really what makes a great consultant. You mentioned before the system for success, and I kind of talked on that too. Do you mind sharing a bit, Stephanie, about what that system actually entails, or what it means?
Sure. I'll give you an interesting perspective. Well, I think it's interesting perspective on it too. Because I was just having this conversation with my partner who owns his own business, and he was, just a little background, he was contacted by a marketing company, basically, that said, I'll come in and I'll recruit X number of new clients to your business in X period of time, and I'll do up all the flyers and blah, blah, blah. So in my head, I'm just thinking to myself, wow, you're going to actually have to pay someone for that. You're going to have to pay this guy to do that. And he's going to go out and be the face of your business. And so that's not a personal relationship with you. That is your business. And that's huge in our business. This is about building relationships, whether it's with each other as a team and consultants and sidelines, as we call it, or most importantly with our clients, is having solid relationships with them and being of service to them. It's customer service industry 101, basically. So in my thinking, I'm just like, oh my gosh, so you're going to have to pay this person to go out and represent you, and they're not you. And they're going to create all these flyers. So there's all this work that has to go into that. The most amazing thing from this whole system for success, as we call it, we have our own special website. It's been created by people that have been in this business much longer than us. And this particular website that is just for us has every single resource you could possibly be looking for. As far as, how do I do these outreaches? What is it that I do? The beauty of this business with relationships is we're a try before you buy company. So the great thing is people always have a drawer with a bunch of stuff in it that they've bought, because you go to a traditional store and you just pick what looks pretty, or it smells nice, or you think it's going to work and you saw the great commercial. So you buy it, you hate it, or it doesn't work for you. It doesn't do what it says it's going to do. So you've got this chintzy drawer somewhere in your bathroom that's got all this, it's like a graveyard of products that's sitting there. So we eliminate that for people. So right off the bat, we're saving the money and wasted time of going to the stores and dragging it back to their house, and wasted product and affecting the environment as well with this junk, extra cartons just sitting around. So what we do is we have these different outreach methods of how can we get in touch with people to invite them to try a different product. And we educate them on why would they want to try our product. So basically, if you have skin and you have a digestive system, you can use any of our products. So there's a wide array of things that everybody uses every single day. So, excuse me, whether it's contacting people in other countries or other towns and doing mail outs, and how do you contact them? How do you not be weird? How do you maintain normal relationship with them if they're not interested? Well, just don't be weird. Be yourself. And I say that all the time. Just don't be weird, because when you get weird and you make it about you, then you've stopped making it about them and the relationship. So the System for Success has these steps and protocols and tons of resources of information that we have access to at our fingertips all the time. So if you're worried about, oh, my friend said she'd like to do a spa party or a healthy happy hour, and I have no idea how to do this, I've never attended one. If everybody in the world who works in the Arbonne business fell off the planet somehow, and you were the only one remaining, if you could log on that website, you would know exactly what to do. It tells you everything, literally scripts you can read from a piece of paper and know exactly what to say. And it's laid out. That's why we call it a system for success. It's laid out to guarantee you success in your business. And the more you do it, the more success you have, the better you get at it. And it becomes logic and reasoning and quick go-to when you know, I've seen that there. I know that's the place, the one spot, one-stop shopping that I can get any information I need to do a coffee date, to talk about the business opportunity, to do a spa presentation, to do a healthy happy hour, or what do I include in a mail out of samples. So all of that information is there. It's set up. And we have another resource through Arbonne directly called The Source, which is like Arbonne's Google. And that's the place where I was mentioning these flyers that my partner was having to get done. Arbonne's done every flyer you can possibly imagine. If there's a topic that you think you'd like to have a handout or a pretty picture or a list of ingredients or what is this for, or have a tutorial, you can go on the resources we have at our fingertips 24 hours a day and be trained and have download information printed out. You have saved yourself so much time and energy just by going to those sources and printing it out and accessing it for yourself. And in that, the best offshoot is you get more confident. So you gain more skills, you gain more confidence. That's, to me, it's also part of your personal and professional growth, that you become more immersed in your business, you know more about it, and you can therefore help more people, point them in that right direction when they forget that we have those resources. So it's totally set up perfect for us. Yeah.
Yeah, they make it so simple.
Very.
It's not a hard job, but a lot of people make it hard because they aren't being resourceful or they're not being coachable. But if you want to help people, all you do is share product with people, get them to try it and get their feedback. Some people are going to like it, some people aren't. But the people who do like it, you then show them how to shop at a discount. And then when you know somebody is struggling financially or is getting burned out because they're working too much, or wants to be able to travel, or wants to be able to stay at home, you can always say, I might have something for you, and just share what we do. It's up to them whether they want to buy the product, or it's up to them whether they want to join. There's no pressure from us. We don't convince anybody of anything. We just share what we have. And the people that are meant to be using this and doing this, you'll find each other. So there's never a hard sell. Some people think you have to be a salesperson, and that almost kind of ruins it because, like I said, we don't convince anybody of anything. We just share what we have, and the people who dig what we have are going to join with us. It's basically how our entire business model works. Was there anything else you wanted to add, Steph, or anything else you think we should touch on?
I don't think I had anything specifically to add. No, maybe to see if anybody had any questions or anything, or.
And if you do have any questions and you're a little shy, you can message the person who shared this video with you or invited you on here, or both. It's got mine and Stephanie's names right up here. You can add either one of us on Facebook or just add us a messenger, and you can ask us any questions, and we'll be super honest with you and let you know what things really look like. We hope you found this helpful to kind of see our backgrounds, where we started, where we are now from the business, and then what kind of a person it takes actually to be successful in this business. Yeah. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Court.
Bye.